Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
It is Some Dumb Guy. Another episode, Some Dumb Buys. We're celebrating, as always, the joys of physical media, its ownership, its viewings, its tangibility, its collectability, its shelf appeal, all the goodness of movies and television at our fingertips that can never be taken away. Apologize for the funkiness of the lighting. One of my lights went out tonight. I thought I had some spare bulbs. I did. Extreme backup, really low wattage. And this is the result. Kind of got a spotlight semi in my face trying to make up for it. It's a little bit wonky. It's a little bit harsh. Things look a little bit different. Please bear with me. Hopefully we will have that resolved in time for the next video, which will probably be recorded tomorrow in my time, because today I've got a little bit of a package. That's a little from GRUV.
GRUVy.
Tomorrow I've got one coming in from Amazon, so I need to get this unboxed and filmed and edited and out of the way for tomorrow's delivery. Ooh. There's a bit more in here than I thought. This might be a two-parter. I've got 17 titles in here. That's a two-parter. We're not going to put you through some dumb meanderings and musings and rantings and ravings for the amount of time it would take to do 17 titles in one video. I wish I knew all that was in here, because there'd be a nice, decent way, I think, to break it up. But I don't. So, I don't. Got a semi-plan here. I think it's going to be a little bit weird. We're going to go from one extreme to the next. Yeah, that's how we're going to do it. This two-parter, what we're going to do is we're going to break down one extreme to the next. So part one will be 4K and DVD. Opposite ends of spectrums. Next part will be Blu-ray exclusively, because I've got a blend here. And there's a reason for that. GRUV had
GRUVy.
a number of sales running simultaneously, as they like to do. And they like to go big, and they like to go simultaneous and hit you with the stuff, right? So you're like, So much like the Kino Lorber sales, I find myself loading my shopping cart with titles and then have to pick, prioritize and weed out. Otherwise, I go broke. I'm already enough out of space as it is. I don't know what I'm doing. So they had a relatively large DVD sale. We'll start there. And I went through this, and everything I found of interest I plugged into my cart. And then when I was done, I had to go back and forth with GRUV.
GRUVy.
Because none of the sale prices were applying. So I had to reach out to them and have them figured out, because they just revamped their website. And it's no bueno. I don't like the new design at all, layout. There's no advantage to it, no improvement at all. Less user-friendly. But anyway, I was going through the DVD portion, which was large, and looking up every single title to see what, if any of them, had been released in newer formats, because they were all films that I didn't own, or maybe have never seen, or maybe even never heard of before. And if it was available in Blu-ray or better, I took it out. We only like to buy DVD films when we have to, for obvious reasons. So we're going to start with a 3-pack, because they had some of those, and I think I got 2 of them, which was one of their sales. It was like 3-pack DVDs. It's a 3-film trilogy. I've only seen the first one, didn't even know there were sequels to it. I'm a little bit nervous because they scream made for TV sequels or made for video sequels. But I remember liking the first one a couple times I saw it when it came out, which was, I want to say mid-late 80s, and it looks like it says 89 here, if I could read that correctly. Second one was, whoa, wait, 2000, that's nuts. And then 2002 for part 3. This is the 3 movies, the K9 trilogy. What does that say? The Patrol Pack. Jim Belushi. John Belushi. Jim Belushi. One of the Belushi boys. Like I said, the original K9, I remember being a pretty solid film. I saw it a number of times as a youngster. On cable, probably. Again, didn't know they made sequels. This popped up. K9 had been released by itself at some point. I can't remember. I don't think it was available on another format. Should be. Hi, buddy. How you doing, my friend? passing through. So anyway, cheap price, availability. I'll rewatch the first. I'm sure I'll watch the second and third. See where we stand. Not optimistic. These things rarely go well. 11 years later. Presumably all Jim Belushi. Obviously not going to be the same dog. We'll see. K9 I was all favor for. The other two, if they're great, bonus. If they're good, bonus. If they're bad, I didn't really lose out on anything. I only bought the collection for the one film, and the price was right, even for the one, if that's what it comes down to. The next triple feature is a Chuck Norris collection. This is the collection Hellbound, The Hitman, and Forced Vengeance. I can't read backwards sometimes to save my life. It looks like some young and then some later Chuck Norris action here. We'll check some dates on here if we're able to. Or not. I swear my eyesight close up is failing. Distance wise, I've been screwed for 25 years or more. But in the past month and a half, having some issues in reading some of these back cases has been amongst them. It's like Hellbound was from 1993, The Hitman from 1991, and Forced Vengeance from 1982. Which makes sense because it was the Forced Vengeance I was seeing the younger Chuck Norris on. Interesting eclectic combination of years. 93, 91, okay, but then the 82 thing, it's just like, whoa, different era entirely. I think we got Chuck Mullet. That's going to be interesting. Let's see. Whoa. D-Blur. There we go. Some blurry guy. Let's see here. A title I recognize, but had never seen. Guessing it's pretty vintage. No, it's not from 2004. No, it's not a Looney Tunes. 1939 RKO Pictures. Starring. So, again, I've heard of the title. Didn't know anything about it. Didn't know who was in it. Stumbled across it. I said, you know what? It's time. Why? Because I recognize the title. It's vintage. Stars Cary Grant. Stars Douglas Fairbanks Jr. Junior? Huh. Just the son of the silent film star, I guess. Victor McLaglen. Produced and directed by George Stevens. This be Gungadin. I don't know what Gungadin's about. But again, it's just, you get those cultural zeitgeist films where these titles just float around in your peripherals awareness for decades and you don't have a clue what the movie is, what it's about, who's in it, anything. This is one of them. And I have it. And for its significance and awareness, or whatever you want to call it, why it's still restricted to DVD, I do not know. Speaking of restricted, starring John Wayne and Lorraine Day, with Sir Cedric Hardwicke, Judith Anderson, James Gleason, Anthony Quinn. Another Blind by John Wayne addition to my library. We have Tycoon. Why? Because we like John Wayne. We want all John Wayne. Every title we can get our hands on, amongst many others, added to our library. This should be the last DVD. We got ourselves, looks like a World War II film, presumably, starring Cary Grant, John Garfield. Yeah, this is Destination Tokyo. I want to say I almost bought this on GRUVy. Last prior DVD sale. It as so often happens to me when I'm shopping on
GRUVy.
My cart vacates itself periodically out of nowhere. And I don't take serious note of what's in there, screenshots, whatever. I lose it. And thus is life. And I have to start over. Most of the time I don't remember half of what's in there, and so I have to wait to stumble across it again. I bought this only because it was on sale. I already own it on Blu-ray. And it's a film that went from DVD director's cut to Blu-ray director's cut to 4K theatrical cut and having originally seen the theatrical cut probably on VHS, and then the director's cut on DVD. That one became my preferred version of the film, so I wanted to stick to that. Now 4K comes along and like theatrical cut only, but then I started reading all this online stuff about how allegedly the theatrical cut is so much superior, and I was like, but I like the director's cut. But at the same time, I haven't seen the theatrical cut in a good many years. I was introduced to this film by I think it was a history teacher in my sophomore year of high school, so I'd been 15. Fell in love with it right away. I wouldn't have expected that to happen, but I did. I'm sure I saw it after that. I might have rented it and recorded it on VHS, not entirely sure. But I remember not getting to see it for a long time after that. And when I picked up the DVD, it was a director's cut, which was a new discovery for me. So that's what I held on to. Blu-ray came out, I upgraded to that. Again, director's cut. We have here is Amadeus. And I, like I said, probably would have stuck with my Blu-ray had this not been on pretty substantial sale, particularly given how new this release is. It's only a few months old. It hasn't been on the market for very long. I'm wondering if it's not selling as well as anticipated. I really don't know, but it's been a number of years now since I've actually even seen my Blu-ray. If I were to speculate, I put it maybe 7 years since I've seen the film last. So time for a rewatch, and I think I'll make that the theatrical cut. And we'll revisit. This one's a blind buy. Also the 4K. I bought this one as a combination of sale and reputation. First and foremost, because the 4K sale was buy 3 for whatever the price was. I think it was 3 for $39.99. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to you shop as often as I do, particularly on GRUV.
GRUVy.
To come up with the requisite number of titles to qualify for a sale, because a lot of their sales get recycled, and I'm finding a lot of time now it's like, I've already got all these. They might run a 4K sale, and I was like, every title that's on sale I either own or have dismissed wanting to own entirely. So it's like, there's nothing there, nothing being offered. But this film has a stellar reputation. I remember when it had come out and it was being talked about quite a lot. I want to say it was probably in the 2018-19 range, but I can't read any of this print at all. It's a black background with small gold font, so I can't see what year it came out. But it is a Phantom Thread, Daniel Day-Lewis, whom I haven't actually seen in a movie in a long time. Most recently, probably either Gangs of New York or, no, There Will Be Blood was probably the last Daniel Day-Lewis film. You see that? I can't read that. Yeah, There Will Be Blood, I think it was the last Daniel Day-Lewis film I saw, so it's been a while. Paul Thomas Anderson, written and directed by. I know nothing about this movie. Phantom Thread. Is it a sewing movie? I don't know. This is another 4K real recent release. So again, very surprised it went on sale as quickly as it did. I've heard some complaints about this 4K transfer. I've seen this movie once, surprisingly, under the circumstances. I don't have it in my library, but I needed to, and 4K came out, and I'm like, well, I don't have it on Blu-ray, I don't have it on DVD, I don't have it on VHS. I only ever saw it once on TV, but with my library expansion being what it is, I had to get the 4K of Dirty Harry. Some reports that this is not a great upgrade, transfer, so forth and so on, 4K scan. I don't know. I don't always agree with those opinions, those assessments. We'll see. But that's another Clint Eastwood title for the library. That's 8, 2 of which are 3-packs. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's a total of 12 additional titles for the library this time around. There it is. We're blurry. Let's de-blur. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Okay. Way long. We're going to hope to edit this one down shorter. That's why we don't do the ball entirely every title, because you'd be here all day. Thank you for joining me on this little venture. What did you think of my pickups? What have you picked up for your own library this week, this month, this year, whatever? $4. Share, engage, discuss, go now. I shall see you in my next video, which I'll probably start recording immediately now to keep the ball rolling. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. It's 11 o'clock. Bye, everybody.
Alan.